G'day guys, you're back with MiracleMAX. Today we're looking at a simple maintenance item that needs to be done on a Toyota RAV4. That's the in-tank fuel filter. Let's get into it. You know, it's quite often that the in-tank filter gets forgotten about. Why is that? Well, it's in tank. That's right, it's too hard to get it out of the tank, or the tank itself has to come out, as in the case of this RAV4. Guys, it's a maintenance item that must be replaced, otherwise it'll be to the detriment of the engine and the fuel system itself with dirty fuel going through. It's no different from any other fuel filter. So, how do we get it out?
So as you can see, we're working on a Toyota RAV4, pulling out the fuel tank to do the fuel filter. Now, the reason that we have to pull out the fuel tank, because Toyota, in all their wisdom, have decided that they wanted to save perhaps 20 cents. I don't know how much it costs to actually punch a hole through the floor to give us access, but in this particular case, we ain't got access. So if we have a look, I'll show you shortly what I've done to pull it out. I only just decided to film this because I thought you guys might be interested. You can see that there's no floor access panel to pull out to get to the actual fuel filter pump assembly, the module assembly. But it wasn't overly hard. Just see if I can give you a bit more information here. Of course, the fuel hose itself, the where is it? Return, etc. Comes off with the tank. Not really an issue, apart from this pipe up here. Where my finger is. It's a bit hard to see how I'm filming because I'm almost upside down. And then those two pipes over there, if we follow those, you can see those two lines there. One is your pressure line. This one fella here, where are we? There we go, there's our pressure line. There's our return line. Just a matter of pulling that white clip backwards to access it. So you get a screwdriver in behind there and just gently lift it up and it comes off quite easily. And of course your return one, which is just a clip style there, no big deal. Of course there's straps that go underneath the tank. There's 3 straps, 14mm bolts, no big deal. But I guess the main thing that's ticked me is the fact that there's no connector. This goes through the floor. Okay, through the floor, there we go, right back here, right down along the tank, all the way across, right back there. There is one connector right on top of the tank, which is most likely for your sender unit. It's something fairly basic, wasn't hard to pull off, just a white connector there. That just push down on the tab, pull it out, no probs. The only wiring connector for, yeah, it must be the pump, I assume, the thickness of the wires, is this is the connector here. So I had to pull the tank out with the wiring still connected, because otherwise you've got to go through the floor, etc. So I'm hoping that I can pop this off shortly. It's not too hard, maybe a screwdriver or something. So just to disconnect this clip, it's not a big deal. Pulling back, pull it back, just gently pull that hose off. You probably noticed that it's been blown off with compressed air around this area. You don't want any dust or contaminants to go into the fuel tank itself. Like that. So these have a square section on the side there. I couldn't do it on this one, but this one I could. By squeezing this here, that opens up these little legs, takes it off this little raised section, and that's got that off. We needed that off, of course, to get our module out. Next fella's this one. It's no big deal. That's just a clip like the other fella. Pull him out the road. Pull that back. Okay, this one isn't as hard as I first thought. I thought the clips had to come through something, but you just push them out the road like that, and then that retaining clip, the yellow one there, should just in fact pull backwards, if you can get onto it, of course, like that. And that should give you access to the high pressure line coming in. Once we get it out entirely, that is. go. Yeah, you'll need to get that clip out, of course, that's pretty important. That should just pop up. There we go. The next one we've got is our electrical connector. Just gently, by the way. There we go. Okay, so connector's off. It's just a tab on the side here that you needed to push down on. It's just a little awkward to get to, that's why I got my multi-grips on there and was able to pull it up. So, module's all clear to get out now, that's awesome. So, I guess all I have to do now is pop it out. All these screws come off around there and I'll show you what happens next. I also find it a good idea just to put a texter mark somewhere. So if your texter works, that is. Because when you put this back in, you don't want to screw up and have it like one nut hole or screw hole out and have to pull it off and start again. These things only go in one way, I realise that, but hey, for a texter mark it's not going to hurt. Huh? Now these are a spring-loaded module, as you can see. I'll pull it out and show you shortly. It's a great idea to get the customer to drop as much fuel as they can. This customer has brought it into me with about 1/8 of a tank, which is awesome. I haven't lost any fuel. I did put a couple of bungs on, but nothing came out onto the concrete. I had trays underneath expecting a lot to come out, but yeah, nothing come out. So I'll pull this out and I'll show you guys what we do next. Naturally you expect to pull it up and pull it straight out, but this you've got to give it a bit of a wiggle. Just be aware that there's a float on the other side, etc. Hoses, so you've sort of got to jiggle that up a bit, and once you've got the main body of it out, then you should be able to pull the rest out okay. That's the theory. Just watch this hose around the side. You need to make sure that you don't get that caught once that's up and out, and fingers crossed. What's that going to? Okay, looks like that goes on to another connector further up. Just in case you thought it was going to be easy, they've stuck a hose on here, which I'm not sure where it actually goes, up to a return or something back here. I don't know. Anyway, just disconnect it. Make sure you hook it back up again, guys, before you put it back. That's important, hey? Leave that out so it's obvious. Okay, onto the bench. Before you ask, no, I'm not sponsored by Cooper or anything like that. Just letting you know what the part number is. It's a WCF 259, which is interchangeable with your probably Ryco Z913. It's an in-tank filter. I hope that it fits. It's what's been given to me. You're going to have fuel come out, so just make sure that you're in a tray or whatever the case may be. Let's open the magic box. See what happens. Any instructions? No instructions. Box's history. Right. So what you get in your kit is a fair bit. I assume that let's have a look what we've got here. I assume the filter assembly is in here. Looks like it might be maybe a secondary filter, I don't know. But that's what we're going to change over. So it's mostly the whole unit, isn't it? Hey. Just quickly comparing the two to make sure that I've got the right part. No use changing everything over if you've got the wrong part. First of all, we need to get this fella off. So yes, it was a little difficult on the car. I don't know if it's going to be any easier getting it off here. I do need to get this off. This is pretty important. But you're meant to squish the outside and that distorts the... Of course you've got to be careful how much you squish it. You don't want to damage the thing. Of course there's a special tool. Yes, I don't have that special tool, but hopefully the POV pack will do it. All I'm doing is just gently, without damaging it of course, getting some screwdrivers, really thin blade screwdrivers in behind there, and that should get that little clip just over that bit that we need. That's the theory that I'm working with. Yeah, it felt like I did something there. Try and work around the camera. Yay! Alright, so all I did and I haven't damaged anything. Just gently get a couple of screwdrivers in here and here at the same time. Just lifts those little legs that are in the side here off that ridge, and then it pops off. Okay, so that's that one. Slide that onto my new one, so know where that goes, hey? Perfect, nice. So we've changed over this pipe here, our main feed, our main high pressure feed. Alright, what do we do next? So we've got a connector here that needs to go in. There we go, connector comes out, and of course that goes into our new one right here. All the hoses are all connected to the new one, so that's okay. I reckon this has to come off too. It's going to be a tight fit, I'm thinking. Oh no, that just popped out. Sweet as, bro. You'll see this will need to come off before you put the bracket across to the new one, I guess. There's the other one over there. Like it does. So I'll put that to one side. It comes up like that. I see. I've got to change my sock filter. And of course there's a regulator in here as well. So that looks like this is a duty cycle setup. It's returnless maybe. No, it's got a return on it, so I wonder what that is. Not sure, but it ain't there. So we'll have to replace that. That might be where the O-ring goes perhaps. And of course this sock filter needs to be done too. Yeah, I thought they'd give you one in the kit. So you pull that off there. Gently, gently. Put a screwdriver down there. So you got to push on that one. So you just push on that lever there. Just like that. So that goes to the bottom, RAV goes to the top. Remember that, won't you, Max? So the next thing, we need to get our pump out, our pump assembly. So we'll just gently pull on these clips without breaking them, I hope. Like that. That's 1, 2, there's 3 of them. There's 2, this one clip back in again. There we go. I should take the whole pump assembly out now, I'd imagine. With a bit of a wiggle, of course. Oh, I see the pressure. I assume it's a pressure regulator of some description. That has to come out at the same time by the looks. There we go, that's that one. Just getting behind it. There we go, look at that, eh? Look, I bought one. Check it out. Aha, there's our O-ring. You see that? That's our O-ring. So make sure that you replace it as per the kit. There's the fella. Fit him into place. And up the spout again she goes. The new one, Max, the new one. Dopey idiot. Of course, don't forget to change your regulator. Oh, look at the crap that come out of that. Man, that's not good. Oh, okay, that's right. The regulator. Get in that equally. And there we have it. She's history. Where'd that go? There it is. See, that's dumb. Like, seriously, why give us one lousy O-ring in the kit when all this other stuff has to come out too? Disappointed. Anyway, I'll check those O-rings. No, they look pretty good. Nice and soft still. So, up the spout she goes. That's in place. Sweet. Right, what was next? Fuel pump. Oops. Put fuel everywhere. Smart. Look at the colour of that. I can't believe how dirty that is. That's pretty bad. That's really bad actually, isn't it? It's the first time, so this customer hasn't had this car too long. I'll get rid of that O-ring so I don't mess up. Yeah, this customer hasn't had this car too long, so obviously the last people used some dirty fuel, I guess. because this lady's pretty particular in what she does. She does everything by the book. Make sure that it's serviced properly by a professional, namely yours truly. Keep your mouth shut, Max, till it's all signed, sealed and delivered. Come on, in you get. Come on, fella. Oh, they're almost there. Just one clip. Come on, two clip. That one's in, just this one and that other one now. Gotcha. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, and then these two here. So that's job is done. It's got to come off, guys. It has to come off. Don't want to be here all day trying to yeah, cuts. So can you see that? There's a little circlet there. Need to get that off. So we just gently pull that off. Ta-da! So there you go. Don't forget that. That should now off like that. Alright, so have a look at the inside there, guys. There's a fair bit of crap in there, hey? So make sure we clean that out first. Don't forget to put your springs on your rods. Oh, and of course this seal here, don't forget that seal. Right, goes that way. You can see the rim here that's been sitting on the fuel tank. I'm not concerned about that, looks okay. So I'll just slide that over there. That'll stretch over there nicely. Just nicely. Oh, look at it go. Ah, you're an idiot, Max. There you go, check it out. All good. Just be like that. That's looking the part. Oh, she's a beaut, guys, she's a beaut. Okay, make sure that hose isn't crimped in any way, which looks good. Then I should be able to, should being the operative word, slide that into place. Oh, they go over there like that. Cheeky. So that should be fine. Twist him around a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see all this. Push down there, locate those pins. Wiggle it around. Oh, mate, it's just like I bought one. Got our two springs on our module assembly. Notice one's shorter, one's longer. Reason being is, as you can see here, we've got a longer leg here and a shorter leg here. So longer spring goes here, shorter spring goes there. Problem solved. Oh, dude. Ah, there we go. Just wasn't quite into place. Okay, that's all good now. Job's done. We've got to hook up our electrical connector between here and here, which, remember, the white went down in here. And it goes in like that. Grey hits up into here. Oh, dude. Oh, clippage. Love the sound of clippage. Everything off our tray is correct, so that's there. Yes, it's got the hose on it. Yes, the pins are attached. Yes, we've got our regulator that goes in the bottom. Yes, we've got the fuel pump that goes in there. Yes, we've replaced the O-ring. Yes. So I'm thinking it's tank time. Putting it back in is just a reversal of what we did before. We need that hose, that hose to go onto that before we can continue. So I'll pop that on and make sure the clamp is in position correctly. There we go. So that's in position. Just a matter of fighting with it now to get it back into place. So let me double check my work. Hose is on, clamp is on. Everybody is happy. That's my goal. It's a dodgy looking at me. Shove it into one side, push it down, slide it across and then down. Don't forget this. The clamp has to go on. Make sure you put that down first. It only goes one way. It's got a little locator over here, as you can see. And then we lined up those marks before, didn't we? So I know that it goes in that way. Fingers crossed, it should slide down nicely. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. All the screws go back into place, 40,000 of them. Now these were fairly tight, I must admit, but you don't want to over tighten them either, they're only little fellas. So just give it a good nip up, show them this boss. And as you can see, I didn't end up pulling off that wiring back at the back of it because I could drop it down and get to it here. So yeah, don't get caught into thinking that you've got to disconnect all the wiring, otherwise you'll be there for years. Okay, that's done. This fella goes on here. There we go, nice. Love that clippy sound. And of course just chuck on all your others. And it should be honky dory. I'll flip that over just in case it gets up high. These ones over here we need to connect again. Make sure they're clean. That guy goes there. Yeah. Come on, Max Muscles, don't let me down now. Clippage. Oh, this is the... Just check your O-ring in there, guys. Make sure that that O-ring in here is in good nick, which that one is. This one has that yellow clip on it, remember? So just shove him all the way in the bottom. And that yellow clip comes in from the back. Not playing the game you are, hmm? Perhaps I didn't have it pushed down far enough. Maybe that was the El Problemo. Look at that. And those legs will clip into place and hold it. This yellow clip comes in from the back and then those little legs just get pushed into place. So they actually come out the side, so you pull them out like that. And that one goes out that side and you can pull it backwards and reversal when you put it back in, of course. This is connected, which goes off here. That's connected, that's done. That's in properly. Electrical connector. Before we put our tank in, there's a couple of things we need to do. This little connector here, I showed you before, goes underneath that protective rubber, whatever you want to call it. And that gets clipped into place like that. I pulled these out thinking they needed to come out, but they actually don't, so I'm going to put them back in right now. The fella just sits there. This fella actually goes in. Up a touch. Sweet. We have a hose that needs to come over here, which is this hose here. So just make sure that goes on first. And of course you've got these two here that need to go on. This is quite an easy one. No, it's not. It's that one, you idiot. Alright, so this is our high pressure one. And you heard that clip into place nicely. Push your locking tab in. And job's done there. This one here, which is our return line, so it must be a return system. Just goes onto there, and depends how strong my fingers are. Oh, sometimes I amaze myself. Okay, so the two hoses there are connected. That's all done. And apart from that, it's just that other hose and we can slide him up into place. While it could quite easily be done without this tool, you could use a floor jack, but this made it heaps easier. I think it's actually designed for a motorbike, but works well. So I'm not going to film the rest of this for now. I'll just show you the final shots, but just obviously make sure all your hoses are connected, your brackets and anything else that you needed to pull off to do it. Just a bit of a heads up on the difficulty factor with this particular bolt. Yeah, can't get a socket onto it even with a wobbly joint, but this method seems to work alright till I get near the end, and then I shove my hand over the top down through here, which is a bit sharp. Shove my arm down down in through here, and then I can access the rest of it with a spanner or a ringy and get some tension onto it then. But this method's alright for getting it up near the end. Yeah, what a pain. Never mind, them's the brakes. So yeah, I've just got it running now just to check for leaks before I put all the shrouding on. There's some shrouding that needs to go there. This is our main pressure line. Looks good, there's no drips coming out of that. There's the brackets that go across, 1, 2, and finally 3. If you can see that one, yes. And of course I'm checking for any other leaks. It looks all good, can't see any problems there. It started and ran straight away, no issues. So it's just a matter of putting it all back together.
As you can see, using the proper method, it wasn't too hard to do this filter properly. Other vehicles, not so much. Sometimes exhaust systems have to be dropped and all sorts of things just to get the fuel tank out. I don't know why they haven't provided an access plate that can be pulled off to get the filter and pump out easily. Let's save 20 cents, shall we? Just keep in mind this is a maintenance item and should be done on a regular basis. If not, you're risking your customer's vehicle just because you couldn't be bothered doing the work. Let's do it right the first time. I hope you enjoyed this video today, guys, and if you did and you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Give it a like, feel free to comment down below. Please don't forget about that notification bell. You don't want to miss out on any future videos. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is MiracleMAX signing off. I will catch you later.